So let's start with mindfulness, because really that's the first pillar in the whole myths method for a reason. It's the thing that I spent most of my life seeking, not really knowing that that's what I was looking for. And I would get glimpses of it in different ways. I think the first time I ever truly felt mindful was probably out on the ocean. And mindfulness, the definition of mindfulness is really a non-judgmental awareness of the present moment. So you can kind of think of it as being present, but without your story, just yourself, just your sense of who you are in the present moment, in touch with your senses, and not judging your experience. And I think the first time I had that probably was out on the ocean. I grew up in a family that my dad was a big sailor. And so I first found a sense of peace there. And I was like, I knew what it was, but I didn't know how to connect with it without that experience. Then I found it again the first time I went camping and went out into the, to the middle of nowhere in the wilderness with a friend who took me camping. I found it again in my late 20s when I learned rock climbing, and I would be up on a wall and my mind would just stop. And there would be this intense sense of presence and my senses. I could feel my fingers like they were eyes, like everything kind of just melted together. And this went on for many years. And I tried over the course of those years to develop a mindfulness practice, but I hit so much resistance that I couldn't get the practice to stick, because the resistance was everything that I didn't want to look at. It was what was protecting the parts of me that didn't want to be hurt again, or didn't want to be exposed to risk. We all have these parts of us that are conditioning, that we grow up with, that become what feel like us, but what they really are our thoughts about who we are, our beliefs about who we are. And so many of those come from our trauma as children, small t trauma, like little things like I can literally remember almost falling to the floor one time over this doll that I didn't get. And how for years that stuck with me is like, I felt like there were things in this world that I needed that I would never be able to get. And that hurt in a deep way over something so trivial now, to big T trauma, people who've had, very, very significant abuse in life. And they're not the same, but the same mechanisms are in play. And that is what inspires resistance in us as a protector. That resistance is really saying, whoa, don't go there. That was bad. That hurt last time. For your own benefit, don't go there. Unfortunately, I'm not a 8-year-old anymore who needs a doll. And I still have a lot of that same conditioning when I'm put with a situation where there's something I desire that I feel like I can't have. And then the feelings come. And that feeling is what I go to now. That getting in touch with that feeling, that sensation, that actual sense in the moment in my body, which is what reality is right here, right now, all of us, what we sense. That is where I go. And if I can just stop there, feel into that sensation, and not make the next connection, which is to all those thoughts of resistance, of control, of if only, I'll get the doll this time if I do it this way, or, of course, it's not about the doll anymore, but it's the same mechanism at play. And so what mindfulness does is gives us a way to get in touch with what's really happening in the present moment before all those thoughts start spiraling. Or even if those thoughts do spiral, it gives us a way to get our mind back to the present moment. And one of the best ways to start mindfulness practice is with short, easy meditations that you can do in a couple of minutes. So I want to do this one is really one of my favorites. It's kind of my go-to meditation that I will do frequently throughout the day. I just stop. I usually close my eyes, but you don't have to. You can just kind of like let your focus. And I want you guys to do this with me. It's literally going to be 2 minutes. You can close your eyes, or you can just let them sort of gently go out of focus or down towards the floor. Okay, and let's take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now on the next breath, in through the nose, focus on a sensation wherever you feel it most of the breath. For me, it's usually right here at the tip of my nose. Feel that cool air coming in. And then I feel that warm air going out on my lips. You can breathe in and out through your nose or your mouth, however it's most comfortable for you. But focusing on that sensation is all you need to do to start a mindfulness practice. Just a few breaths that way. Bringing all of your attention to wherever it is. It could be in your throat, if you notice your breath more there, in your chest, in your belly, the rising and falling of the belly. Sometimes I'll use that instead. It's not about where you focus. It's that you're focusing on the sensation of the breath, the way the breath feels in the body, and then bringing attention to a specific point. Because getting in touch with our ability to focus our attention is really what allows everything else in this program to become possible. Because attention is the thing that we have the most control over in our lives. So let's take one more deep breath. That is so instantly calming for me. So immediately takes the spinning thoughts and drops me into the space that is between the feelings and the thoughts. And being able to get there has been the most useful thing for it's just been the most useful thing really in my life. It's been the most healing thing. It's been the most enlightening thing. So basically, mindfulness, this ability to be in the present moment, which at times is completely elusive. You know, when you're really, really wrapped up in it, you may not be able to get there. Well, as you cultivate and practice mindfulness more and more, and just starting literally with a few breaths, and then going a little longer every day. Maybe you try a minute the first day and see if you can add a minute the next day. There's another meditation I love, which is so easy, but really the Zen Buddhists will tell you that this meditation can take you all the way to enlightenment. And I believe that that's true. And that's just doing the same thing, breathing in and out, and on your out breath, counting your breath. So it's in, out, 1. And then do that to 10 and start over again. And that's a great way to just start developing attention. It seems simple and it seems almost silly, like, really? But I think you'll see that what happened for me was I ran up against so much resistance. I couldn't get to 10 when I first started doing it. The other thing about that meditation is if you lose track of the number you're on, just go back to 1. And all of these are to be done just with compassion for yourself, exploration, curiosity. It's really about curiosity. All of this, as Carrie would. No, sorry, was it Carrie that was saying that? Yeah, curiosity. That mindfulness starts with curiosity, a curiosity that says, who am I right now in this moment? Who is here? Because the next step, yielding, which I also want to talk about today, is where we start to take that curiosity, to take that sense of who we are and say, what else can I allow? What else can I stop resisting? If maybe this resistance is some kind of conditioning, some kind of protection that may or may not be actually helping me, what other options are there?